Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we have Excel tutorial and I'll be taking you right from the beginners level to advanced level. So at the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to use Microsoft Excel efficiently. So we have two options, which is Microsoft Excel desktop app and Microsoft Excel web, which is a cloud version. With the desktop apps, it requires a Microsoft 365 license, which means you have to purchase it from Microsoft directly. You can purchase it using the URL office.com. And we also have a Microsoft Excel cloud version, which is you can use it directly from any web browser, especially Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome. So you can use that via the web browser as seen here above. So you can log in through excel.cloud.microsoft, and the login page will still appear the same as desktop application as seen here. You have all the templates. You can navigate the templates and choose which option you prefer to start with, and you can also create a blank worksheet, and it will work the same as the desktop application. But just bear in mind, this version is free of charge and you can use it only on the web. And the downside of this is that if you don't have internet connection, you won't be able to access it. So but it's really necessary or really essential for those who are just getting started with Excel. So it has the same functionality, and most often the functionality in the web are mostly developed before they are being pushed to the desktop application. Let's get started with the Excel on the web. Here I have logged in with my Microsoft account, which is free of charge. So when you create a Microsoft account, you'll be able to access Excel on the web free of charge. You also have the option to purchase the Microsoft 365 license here, which will give you the access to use the desktop application. And right below here, you have some custom templates which are preloaded by Microsoft. If you are already proficient in Excel, you can use this template and customize it to meet your requirement. So there are a lot of templates here, and the same are available on the desktop application. So we go ahead to create a new workbook. So here we go. So this is your workbook. You can navigate here, the toolbar. You have the toolbar here. You have your cells, and you can navigate all the toolbars, which are the same as the desktop application. And also here you can add a new sheet if you want to. You can zoom in and zoom out to meet your requirement. You can use your mouse as well by pressing Control and zooming in or zooming out. So it works same like the desktop application, but our focus will be on the desktop application because I have the license. So let's move over to the desktop application. Just like Excel on the web, when you launch your Excel desktop application, you will have this window. This window will appear. So you have the option to create a blank workbook or to use any of these templates provided by Microsoft. You can click here to see more templates. So you can customize these templates, any of these templates to meet your requirement if you are already proficient in Microsoft Excel. So we go ahead to launch a workbook. As you can see here, these are cells, the same as Excel on the web, and you can navigate through the toolbar to use any of these tools, and we use many of them as we go on through this tutorial. So we can as well create a new sheet here. We can zoom in and zoom out from here, as you can see here. We can zoom in and zoom out from here. So we start by entering some data, and we will proceed from there. Let's start by entering some data here. So I have some items I need to purchase. So we start with the items, items, we click enter. We can use enter to move to the next cell below, or we can use the arrow keys, your keyboard arrow keys to move left, right, or center. So we can use the arrow keys to move as well, or you can use the tab key to move to the next cell to the right. So let's enter some items. We have a laptop, we have desktop, we have keyboard, we have mouse, and we have mouse pad. So we also need to enter the quantity, and we enter, let's say we need 2 laptops, we need 5 desktop, we need let's say 8 keyboard, 8 mouse, and mouse pad. Let's say we need also about 10. Let's move on to another column. In this column, these are called column and these are called rows. So let's move to another column. This column, let's talk about the price. We go to the next column. We put here description. And let's mention here for the new sales manager. As I enter the description for the new sales manager, you notice the cells have overlapped into 2 other cells. So what do I do to adjust this? There are multiple ways we can do the adjustment. We can either shift the cell to this direction, to either to the left or to the right, but this is not always a good process to follow. So you can easily bring your cursor to this level and you double click it, and we take the space all right through to the end of the manager. So as I double click here, you notice the cell expanded to the end of the writing. So that is one of the ways to adjust your cells. So you can either move the cursor to the left or to the right to adjust it, but the best way to do is to bring it to the center here, and you double click it and we move to the end of the cell. So the same thing goes to other cells. If you have like multiple cells which are overlapping, let's say here the mouse pad has also overlapped, mouse pad and office items. So let me just show you an example. So if you can see here, this the description has overlap, and here also here we have a mousepad and office item. We cannot see the office item because of this number here. So we can select this whole table. We can select the table, and we only have to double click in one of the cells, and all the cells will be adjusted automatically as seen here. So you can see all the data is now visible. You don't have to expand the cell individually. So that is one of the ways to adjust the cells. So let's go back to the way it was. So at a point in time, if I decide I don't need this description column again, what do I do? Maybe I just want to hide it, or I want to delete it completely. You can delete from here, yeah, and it will be gone for good. But if you want to keep it, but you want to keep it hidden, just to make your work look neat, so you can click here, you can right click here, and you hide the item. So here it is hidden. If you start reading here, A, B, C, D, E, you will not see the F, but because F is hidden, and you will see G. So in order to make the column visible again, you will select the two last column which are border to the hidden column, and you can right click there and click on hide, and now the column will become visible again. So that is one of the way to customize or to format our cells. So let's just delete it, and we go ahead to create a table. So let's proceed to create a table. But before that, let's align this column. So as you can see here, these are not aligned. Same with the price column is not aligned. So I would like to, let me first delete some of these cells. Let me delete some of the rows which are above. And I also like to zoom it a little bit so that it will be clearer for the viewers. I think this should be fine. So I can select here, I will select this, or we select it all together, and we can keep it all in the center. So you can adjust it based on your requirement or how beautiful you want your sheet to look. You can adjust it accordingly. So after that, I can select here, and I will go to insert, and I will select table. And since we have our header already, if we don't have a header, like we unselect this, and a header will be created for us. But since we have a header, we can keep it selected, as it is already selected by default. So let's proceed. As we click OK, you see the table is created, and we also have some options here to design the table based on your requirement. If you want to change the color, you have a lot of options here, but I think I would prefer to go with this. And also we have other options like the total row. So if you don't want the total row to, if you don't want to create the total row manually, you can click here, and it will be created automatically. So you can see here the total row was not there initially. Now it has been created automatically, and here you can see the amount is listed. The total amount is listed here. So let's proceed. And also here, if you look down here, you will see, if you click here, you will see this arrow. So with this arrow, if you choose to change the total, or you don't need the total again, maybe you need the average, you can click here. The average will be calculated automatically. As you can see, also if you want to count, you can count here, and the table counts will appear automatically. So there are a lot of options about the sum which is the original, minimum, maximum. So these are some of the options which you can which comes directly built into Excel, which you can apply it to your table, and it will save you a lot of time to add the items manually. So let's go back to the initial setup, which was the sum. So there we go. So let's do some table formatting. So now I have created my table, and I just realized I missed out an item. So what do? I need to put the item here below the desktop or above the keyboard. So what do? I will come here to the keyboard role. I can right click here, and I will click insert. So I can see here, as you can see, a new role has been created for my new item. So I can enter my printer. How many printers do I need to, and how much? Let's say 600, and that is it. So here, I would like here to be the sum. So I'll maintain the sum. And also, if I want to delete one more item, what do? I can select the item here, and I will delete it as well. There you go. Let me undo that change. The same thing goes to adding a new column. So if I notice I need to add one more column, what do? I can click here, and I will come here to insert to the left. So here we go. So I can add the number. What is the column the title? Let me put number, and I will enter 1. So when I enter 1, I don't want to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or maybe to 100 manually. So what do? I can enter 1 here, and I will bring my cursor right here. As you can see, once you double click here, you can drag it through, by holding the control button, and the other numbers will appear automatically. Or if that does not happen uh, in your Excel, there's another option you can use. So once you can drag it through, if only if the same number keeps repeating, you can drag it through, and you can click here to fill series. You fill series, and the number will be counted automatically. So that is one way. And I also like to adjust here to put it at the center. As you can see here, it makes the work looks clearer. So I also realize I want to add a heading to this table. So what do I do? I can come here to row number 1, and I will insert. Yeah, there you go. Now we have another row above the the table or the items. So I can select this item. So I want to click here. So I have just realized my table does not have a header. So I want to add a header. So here I will select the first row. I can right click here, and I click on insert. So this will insert a new row right above my table. So I will enter the requirement. I will enter my table header. So item IT requirement. As you can see, the IT requirement is in one cell only, but I want it to be at the center of my table. So what do I do? I have to select all these row above my table, and I will combine them together so the heading will be at the center. So you can do that by merging. We call it merge. So you can click here. We have several options, but you can click here to merge. So as you can see, all the cells are now combined as one. So you can also do some formatting, like I need it bold, and I need to also increase the font size, or maybe I want to change the font type. Let's change to Area. Where is Area? Yes, let's change to Area. And I also want to change the background color. I don't want it to be white, so let's change to something green, as you can see here. So that looks better. So I have added my table header, as you can see here. I have just realized our price column does not have a currency attached to it. That means you only see the number 1000, or you see only 500, but you cannot determine which currency it represents. So to add the currency, you can select the column, and you come here to the general tab. You can see that here. So you can see here they have currencies, and you can as well put either the English pounds, United Kingdom, euro. So there are several currencies here, but I'll go ahead to select here, or you can add numbers, so you can see the various options. But by default it is a general, no specific format. So you can see those various options. If you want to make it specify it as a short date or a long date, the time as well. So all these functions are here. So I will assign a currency to this column. So let's apply that. And the reason why you see this sign is because the space here is smaller than the figure which is provided there. So as we discussed in our previous video a few minutes ago, you can double click here at the end of the cell in order to make the whole data visible. So I will just do that right away. So now you can see the amount here with the currency, where everything attached to it. So but now I've just realized I don't need this decimal points, because here we have two decimal points after the amount, like 500.00, but I don't need this point 00. So what do I do? I can click here to remove the decimal. So once I click one time, you remove one decimal point, I click again, it remove the other decimal. So here we have the exact amount, and I would also like to format it a little bit more. So since we have attached a currency to it, we want the numbers to be on one, let's say one direction or one corner. Yeah, I think it looks better like this. So if you want to add one more decimal number or you want to increase the decimal, you can do that right here. So let's send the currency to one to the left side. Let's send the currency to the left side. I think this looks better. And we remove the decimal number. So I think this is the best one. So that is how we can add the currency. So you can change the currency if you want. And these are the currency options here. You can change it based on your requirement. So let's do some conditional formatting. As you can see here, all the items have the same color, but I want the highest item or the item with the highest price to be in red. This will enable my management to take a decision fast, or anybody who sees the table to see the item with the highest price first. So you can access it from here, or you can click here in the conditional formatting. You scroll down here to scale, and we have some options here. And on the very first option, you can see here the highest price is mentioned in green and the lowest price is mentioned in red, but that is not what I need. I need the highest price to be in red and the lowest price in green. So when somebody looks at the table, the person will be able to take a decision fast or to see the highest item first, and that will enable the person to determine if this item is really required or not. So if you send it to your management for approval, this will be easier for them to take a decision. And also we have an option here to select to sort either by the smallest. If I click here smallest, you see here the smallest item will appear at the top, or the item with the smallest price will appear at the top, and the item with the highest price will appear at the bottom. Same thing, this is the opposite. If I click here, the item with the highest price appears at the top, and the item with the lowest price appears at the bottom. And also we have an option to hide some tables or to hide some role. So if you don't need, let's say, the laptop role, let's do some basic Excel calculation. Excel is quite good when it comes to calculation, and some people prefer to use Excel rather than using a calculator. So I will enter my equal to sign, and I can select some cells. I will select this cell. I will select another one. We can select randomly, as well as we can select chronologically. So I can select those, and I will click enter, and you can see this total. So I can also choose to modify this by deleting this the last uh, the last cell. Let's say we want to select this one instead. Enter. You can see the total. So rather than putting the cell at the last, you can choose to either divide or multiply based on your requirement. Let's say times 2. There you get the answer. You can also choose to divide it by 5. Enter, and you can get the answer. So that is some of the calculation we can do with Excel. So that is a manual calculation. We can also choose to use formulas which are inbuilt in Excel. We can see some of them here, or we can navigate to the formulas, like tap at the here in the toolbar to access the formulas. So let's take for instance, click enter, we click equal to, and we put a sum, and we open a parenthesis. We can select all the prices we want to add, and we close the parenthesis. We click enter. So it does a calculation the same as what we have gotten here. So if you want to calculate it including the total which we have below, we can do that as well. So we can select from here and enter. So you can see it gives you all the total. So if you choose to do subtraction or any other calculation you choose to do, that will it work just fine. So that is just a basic calculation. As time goes on, I will prepare a full video which will be focused more on formulas and calculation, and will really take you into advanced calculation with Excel. Thank you. Excel also has a feature which permits you to invite somebody to collaborate with you in the same file. For instance, you have a file which requires input from somebody in your organization. Rather than sending the file via an email back and forth, you can prefer to share the file. This will permit the person to update the data in real time without having to download the file to his or her PC. So this enables a person to collaborate with you in real time, and that saves you a lot of time. So this feature exists here. You can click here and share, and you can enter the person's email. You can also create a link and share with multiple people. They'll be able to collaborate with you in the same file. That is all about Excel for beginners. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye.